There are things in your home right now that only your cat can see and hear. But do you actually know what they are? You probably think it is nothing, but your cat is picking up on things your senses will never detect. There is a hidden world only they can access, and some of it is directly about you. Once you understand what your cat is really reacting to, their strangest behavior starts to make sense. Let's start with the one that changes everything. 1. Your cat sees a world you will never see. What if the room you're sitting in right now looks completely different to your cat? Not slightly different, a whole other version of reality. That's not an exaggeration. Cats can see ultraviolet light, a part of the light spectrum that is completely invisible to the human eye. According to Live Science, this means your cat sees patterns on flowers, grass, and surfaces around your home that you'll never know exist. That plain white shirt you're wearing? To your cat, it might be covered in patterns and marks. The flowers on your windowsill, they have UV guides on their petals that glow like landing strips, and your cat sees every single one. A 2014 study published in the Proceedings of the Royal Society B confirmed that cats, along with several other mammals, have lenses that allow UV light to pass through to the retina, while human lenses block it almost entirely. So, when your cat is staring out the window at what looks like an empty yard to you, they're seeing a completely different landscape lit up in ways your brain cannot even process. And if that changes the way you see your cat's world, wait until we get to the end of this video. Because it's not just about what your cat sees out there, it's about what they detect coming from inside you. And that one hits different. 2. Sounds so high only your cat hears them. Have you ever noticed your cat suddenly twitch their ears towards something you can't hear at all? That's not a glitch. That's a superpower you don't have. Cats can hear frequencies up to 64,000 hertz. To put that in perspective, the human ear taps out at around 20,000 hertz. That means there is an entire layer of sound happening in your home right now that only your cat has access to. Electronic devices, chargers, LED lights, even your TV on standby, all emit high-pitched sounds that are completely silent to you, but loud and clear to your cat. This is also why your cat sometimes reacts to things before they even seem to happen. They're not predicting the future, they're just hearing it first. A study published in the journal Hearing Research confirmed that cats have one of the widest hearing ranges among domestic animals, evolved specifically for detecting the ultrasonic calls of small prey. So, every tiny squeak, every electronic hum, every subtle shift in sound that escapes your ears is part of your cat's daily soundtrack. You're living in the same house, but your cat is hearing a completely different version of it. And hey, if your cat's secret world is blowing your mind as much as mine, hit like and subscribe so we can share this with more cat lovers who deserve to know what their cat is really picking up on. 3. Your cat feels the storm before it hits. Ever seen your cat suddenly get restless, hide under the bed, or start pacing for no reason? And then, an hour later, a storm rolls in? What if they weren't being dramatic? What if they literally felt it coming before you had any clue? That's exactly what's happening. Cats can detect micro vibrations in the ground and subtle shifts in atmospheric pressure that are completely undetectable to the human body. While you're checking your weather app, your cat already knows what's on the way. This also applies to earthquakes, but not in the way most people think. Cats don't predict earthquakes hours or days in advance. There's no solid scientific evidence to support that. What actually happens is more impressive in its own way. Earthquakes send out two types of waves. P waves come first and are fast, subtle, and nearly impossible for humans to feel. S waves follow, and those are the ones that shake the ground. Your cat's paws are packed with nerve receptors that act like built-in sensors, so they pick up those early P waves seconds to minutes before you feel anything. That's why your cat bolts off the couch right before the room starts shaking. They're not psychic. They're just wired to feel what you can't. So, the next time your cat suddenly acts strange out of nowhere, don't brush it off. They might be sensing something real that just hasn't reached you yet. 4. Your cat knows you're coming before you arrive. Have you ever walked through your front door and found your cat already sitting there staring at you like they've been waiting? How did they know? You didn't call ahead, you didn't text them, but somehow they were ready. It's not a coincidence, and it's not some psychic bond. Your cat has memorized the exact sound of your car engine, your footsteps, even the specific rhythm of how you walk. And they can pick up on those sounds from a distance that would shock you. Cats don't just hear well, they categorize what they hear. A 2013 study published in Animal Cognition found that cats can clearly distinguish their owner's voice from a stranger's, even without seeing them. Now stretch that to every sound you make when you're approaching home. Your car door, your keys, the way your shoes hit the pavement. Your cat has built an entire audio profile of you. That's why they don't react the same way when a neighbor pulls into the driveway or a delivery driver walks up. Those sounds don't match. Yours do every single time. So, when your cat is already at the door before you even touch the handle, it's not magic, it's memory. They've learned you by sound in a way no human ever could. 5. Your cat watches things you cannot see. Have you ever caught your cat tracking something across the room with laser focus, and when you look, there's absolutely nothing there? It's one of the creepiest things a cat can do, but they're not hallucinating, and they're definitely not seeing ghosts. Your cat is watching tiny dust particles, micro-insects, or subtle movements in the air that are completely invisible to the human eye. Think so small, your brain doesn't even register them. But to your cat, it's a live show. Cats have a much higher number of rod cells in their retinas compared to humans, which makes them incredibly sensitive to even the slightest motion. A piece of lint floating off your couch, a tiny gnat drifting across the room, a shadow shifting from a curtain moving in the breeze, you miss all of it. Your cat catches every single frame. Their visual system is built to lock onto small, subtle movement, because in the wild, that's how they spotted prey. That instinct hasn't gone anywhere. It just plays out differently in your living room. Now, here's what makes this even more fascinating. Those same eyes that can track a floating dust particle across the room actually go blurry on anything closer than about 20 to 30 centimeters. Cats are naturally far-sighted, so when something gets too close, they switch to a completely different system. Their facial whiskers swing forward like a built-in radar to feel what their eyes can't focus on. Their sense of smell fills in the rest. They even have whiskers on the backs of their front legs called carpal whiskers that help them sense prey already caught in their paws. So, your cat is this incredible motion-detecting machine at a distance. And when things get too close, they don't miss a beat. They just switch tools. 6. Your cat can hear your heartbeat. Remember when I said the last one hits different? This is it. What if your cat doesn't just sense the world around them, but senses what's happening inside you? Not in some mystical way, in a real, measurable, physical way. Your cat can hear your heartbeat. They can hear the rhythm of your breathing change, and those tiny shifts tell them more about how you're feeling than your words ever could. Cats are sensitive enough to detect the subtle sounds your body makes when you're stressed, anxious, or afraid. Your heart rate increases. Your breathing gets shallow. Your body chemistry shifts. and your cat picks up on all of it. This is why cats often curl up next to someone who's upset or sick without being called over. They're not guessing. They're responding to real signals your body is sending out. A study published in the journal Animal Cognition found that cats don't just passively exist around you. They actually pick up on your emotional state, and many of them shift their behavior in response. Some become more vocal, more attentive, or press closer to you. Others might quietly position themselves nearby without making a fuss. The response varies from cat to cat, but the detection doesn't. They're all picking up on it. This also explains something most owners have experienced but never fully understood. When you're calm, your cat is calm. When you're anxious, they get restless. They're not mirroring your mood out of some emotional connection you imagined. They're literally hearing and feeling the changes in your body. You're a living broadcast to your cat, and they're always tuned in.